Archive on October 11, 2016, Paul Ansorge argued for the continued inclusion of Marcus Rashford in the Manchester United starting lineup. Fast forward a year and fans and media alike are clambouring for Rashford to be given more playing time to show the world just what a fantastic young talent he is. Jose Mourinho needs to find a way to ensure Marcus Rashford is playing regularly for Manchester United. In 3 games so far this season, he has been given one 19-minute cameo. It was enough to change the game against Hull City. He and Henrik Mkhitaryan made United a very different prospect as they drove at the heart of Hull's defence. Finally, the Tigers' resolve was broken. When Wayne Rooney skipped round the Hull fullback, it was Rashford who put himself in a position to do the damage. Now, the call for Rashford to get more time on the pitch is not delivered as a criticism of Mourinho. The Red Devils' new boss has got pretty much everything right so far. 3 wins out of 3 have been added to the Community Shield. The transfer window brought with it as much excitement as any ever has. Even when they struggled to break down Hull, they were a great deal of fun to watch, sending wave after wave of attack at Mike Phelan's men. One of the reasons Rashford had been involved so little before the Hull game is probably pretty simple. Mourinho did not need to change the game against either Southampton or AFC Bournemouth. Like changes, or changes designed to manage early season fitness, were enough. When he needed to break the deadlock against Hull, when he needed more drive and attacking impetus, he turned to the brilliant youngster. But as tougher opposition lies ahead, the opportunity cost of Rashford's exclusion becomes ever greater. Sam Allardyce left the 18-year-old out of his England squad, which then laboured to a scrappy 10-win away at Slovakia. How they could have done with an 18-year-old, ultra-mobile, super-intelligent, fully confident striker bang in form who has looked entirely unfazed by any challenge he has ever faced. He emphasised his absence by scoring a hat-trick for the country's under-21s, but playing Rashford at under-21 level football, good as it might be for his development to keep him out of the spotlight a little longer, is essentially cheating. He is miles too good for it. In his post-match press conference after the Southampton game, Mourinho said he needed September to arrive, with its League Cup and Europa League fixtures, which would allow him more squad rotation. That is true. He has a talented squad at his disposal, and there are plenty of players who would have thought themselves in with a shot at first-team status who have not played much football this season. Mourinho has numerous challenges to keep his squad happy, and the thick and fast fixtures that are to come will help with that. But, if United are to be the best they could possibly be this season, then Mourinho will have to pull the pin on Rashford's potential. Bringing Zlatan Ibrahimovic to the club looks to have been a brilliant move, and while it is costing Rashford a place for now, it will likely have an enormous bearing in any success the Red Devils have in 201,516. While the easy headline is that Mourinho is relying on an established superstar in his twilight years over Rashford, the truth is that Ibrahimovic is not really the problem. Rooney playing at number 10 with Ibrahimovic ahead of him is almost certainly not as effective for United's attack as having Rashford playing a few yards ahead of Zlatan, with Rooney on the bench. Other than brief bursts of output, very little of Rooney's performances so far this season, or for the last 2 seasons before this, justify his place in the team. Every guess at United's starting 11 for now still has Rooney in it, but for all but the most committed Rooney superfans, his inclusion is a compromise, a recognition that he is not getting dropped, so we all just have to make the best of it. But it makes less and less sense as the weeks go by. None of this needs to be addressed immediately, of course, though a front 4 of Ibrahimovic, Mkhitaryan, Anthony Martial and Rashford for the derby would be a delight. Mourinho does have some time here. Patience is important for a young player, and it is important for fans too. Managing Rashford's physical, mental and emotional development is crucial for his long-term future. But leaving him out definitely comes at a cost. His presence gives them a specific and thus far devastating cutting edge. United will need him this season if they are to maximise their potential. Other than squad politics, it is hard to find a reason that Rooney is keeping him out of the side. Rashford is too good for the bench. He's too good for the under-21s, he's too good for the League Cup. Mourinho has a conundrum on his hands, and it will be fascinating to see how long it takes him to bring about this most obvious change in United's default starting 11. Share this 31,633.